everyone, I'm Bree.
And I'm Chris.
And this is Cuz Books.
Alright, and yes we know, cuz wouldn't be spelled that way, it's not a proper word, it is a play on our last name, but it's on purpose, I promise. Alright, so what we wanted to do this first video is just a bookshelf tour to show what we're about. These are not all of our books by any means. We have totes of books that we don't have space for, so they're just in totes, but we're just showing what we have out right now as far as fitting space.
Alright, let's get started. So we each have our own bookcase, but for the first bookshelf we actually combined ours together because we have so many Stephen Kings. We both read it, so we have Stephen King's here, and then on my side we have Stephen King mixed with some others, but we just wanted to fit all of our Stephen Kings together. My hardcovers are mainly these. Well, that's his, but I prefer the hardcovers. He prefers the paperbacks, so that's why there's kind of a random mixture. For this first one, we also went from tallest to shortest, not counting once we get to Agatha Christie. But that's kind of a rundown of our shared shelf there.
Alright, so my books are organized by author, so they're kind of hodgepodge in appearance. Sorry about that. First off, I have Douglas Adams, the first 3 volumes of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Honestly, those are the 3 I liked. I didn't like the last one, so I ended up selling them. That's just the way it is. Have a couple other classics. This one was my favorite book growing up, The Incredible Journey. As you see, it's very dirty because it was well read and used. I used to keep this thing in my pocket. If you've seen Homeward Bound, this is what it's based off of. They do not talk in it, though. So here's various other books that I have here. This I just got from Book of the Month. And as you can see, it is a beautiful case. It's by Janie Chang, The Library of Legends, and it is a historical fantasy. So it's set during the World War II and when China was invaded by Japan. And it is mixed in with fantasy, and I'm all there for it. So we got some Clancy, some Michael Crichton. Loved House of Leaves so much as a horror book. It was so fun. A lot of Sherlock. We're big Sherlock fans. Some Bond. I used to be really into Bond when I was younger, and the problematic parts of it became more and more obvious to me and troublesome, so I'm excited if I'm selling all these, if I'm stopping here. I've sold a few of them that obviously aren't here anymore, so we'll see. Got some various books for the fandom, X-Files, a couple superhero books. I've been wanting to read Roots. I have both Alex Haley's Roots and the autobiography of Malcolm X as told to Alex Haley. I look forward to reading both of those. I haven't read the Malcolm X one since I was in college. To All the Boys I Loved, love the movie, can't wait to read the book. Okay, we're going through here. This is when we go to Mexico to see our family, I'm taking this book because it is massive. And I will read it. I will. Great, we have the Dexter books here. I used to be really big into those. I have read all of them, but the rest I still haven't actually bought yet. I got them from the library. Jack London for Call of the Wild and White Fang, love those both. I've been reading the George R.R. Martin books for Game of Thrones. I got off the show and wanted to just focus on the books. I was liking the books more. And considering how people feel about how that show ended, I think I'm happier sticking with the books. Got some more horror books, some George Orwell, a little Jodi Picoult. And this is Matthew Riley books. Yeah, I have a psych paperback. Yeah. These are Matthew Riley. He's an adventure writer. A lot of action stuff there. Used to be really big into him in high school. A lot of guns and explosions and treasures and all that. And these are James Rowland's, which happen to just be there alphabetically, but are similar authors. James Rowland's, though, does a lot of research. It's scientific and historic. So it's a lot more blended in and you learn a lot more. But they're very cool, very cutting edge books. Good escapism. Alright, the rest of my books. I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. I've been wanting to read. It should be really interesting. It's about the surviving sister having to deal with all the pressure of the death of the perfect sister and how she's supposed to compare to it and how that sister may not have been so perfect. I've got the first Witcher book I've been wanting to read. Several volumes of Shakespeare. I used to read Shakespeare a bunch when I was much younger. Not so much now. We're just going to move this over here so I don't kill it. Lord of the Rings books. No, these aren't matching volumes. I'll probably get the movie ones to even them out so they're all matching in appearance. But for now, it is what it is. My favorite writer is someone called Jonathan Tropper. My favorite book, actually, is This Is Where I Leave You. If you've seen the Justin Bateman movie, you have an idea what it's like, though the book's much better, as often is the case. And then the last book I want to talk about, I've seen and buried sing, is Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad, which is the Pulitzer Prize winner, but it's about the Underground Railroad, but in it, there's actually a railroad that's being used, a real one as opposed to the metaphor. So it's an interesting kind of alt history fantasy that I've been really wanting to check out, so I'm really excited to get to that. My bottom shelf is nonfiction. I have various books of guitar music, that's a metronome. I have various nonfiction history books about Mexican history, Hamilton, which is the biography primarily for the musical, various other things. I'm not going to be talking about politics and history much on my channel, though, I promise. I have a couple these superhero nonfiction books and studies. Super Women is an award-winning book about gender and superheroes by PhD Carolyn Coca. She's a very good writer, and it was a very interesting book. Various other books through here. There's that Malcolm X. I'm going to take it over to my wife here, and she'll tell us about her books.
For my bookshelf, apart from the top one that we have here, I'm a little short, so bear with me. I have some Agatha Christie's in here. I've got 2 of those here, and then I've got some more over here. These are actually Spanish. My cousin gave them to me because she's not a big Agatha Christie fan, so I went ahead and took them because they look pretty cool to me, plus they're in Spanish, which I like. It gives me a chance to read up on it. So this is what they look like. Very, like, you know, old looking, which I like the vibe of that. And then I have some monk books up here. I mainly moved some of these up here, the more mystery ones, just because I wanted to make things fit in my bookcase, and that was the way I could do it. The way that I have mine set up actually are my paperbacks are the second and third shelves, and then my paperback or hardcovers, I should say, are my 4th and 5th ones right here. And I've done it also by height, so from tallest to shortest. For the second one here, I tried to do more of my fandoms in terms of how I organized it, so you're going to see a lot of Halo. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Halo books. So you guys can see that I'm very into the Halo books. I hope that that catches correctly. And so I've got like Gears and Tomb Raider and Doctor Who, and then some other ones like with Mass Effects and Assassin's Creed, plus some more Halo over here, and then like CSI type of stuff. And then here for the third one, I just have a bunch of non-fandom ones that I've just picked up over time. And then we'll get to these here in a second. But these are the rest of my Agatha Christie's. They just look so nice. Like, they don't have the cover for it, but I like that it's just this nice black binding format with the like bronzy gold feel to it. It looks very cool to me. These books right here are the books that I have read so far in the year. I have read 8 books, so I will probably be doing a rundown of how I feel about them. If you go to my other, I was going to say webpage, that's not correct. If you go to my other YouTube channel, you will see that I have talked about some of these books. I will try to link them down in the description below. But yeah, these are the ones I've read so far. I keep them this way so that I can keep track of it. And then for my 4th one, I've just got, like I said, more of my hardcovers, again, by height, is how I like to organize mine, and kind of by author if the height is correct. So I have a lot of Alex Cava, how do you say that last name? Cava right here. So yeah, I've only read one of her books, but I just hunted down a whole bunch, and that's what I have now. So yeah, just variety here. I tend to do a lot of like the mystery thriller types, but occasionally I branch out to others. And for my final one, I have a couple of big ones right here. This I got from Book of the Month, Long Bright River. This is what the cover looks like. I started to get Book of the Month in March, so last month. So I haven't read this one yet, but I've read my April one. So a lot of like nonfiction. I think this one is the only, or not nonfiction, sorry. A lot of fiction, This, I think, is my only nonfiction, as well as this one right here. But yeah, it's just variety here. Things that have like stuck out to me or jumped out at me. I buy my books a lot of the time based on cover. So if I see the cover and it looks intriguing, that is what tends to pull me in. So this is a rundown of our bookshelf, or bookcase I should say, and kind of what it looks like.
Alright, real quick, these are our larger collections of comics, the omnibuses, graphic novels, and paper trade. So just various collections here. First, I have the prestige-sized comic issues. These are just extra large, fancy ones that don't fit in the box with all the other individuals. I have a few graphic novels I want to show off. This is Waves from Boom Archaea. And so what it is about a lesbian couple who have a miscarriage and how they recover from it. They do a really nice thing with the art where they start black and white after the miscarriage and then they slowly gain back color into their lives. Here we have Halo. All the comics are by publisher except Halo because Halo switched companies. So just for simplicity's sake, they're all under DA Dark Horse. Yeah, see, we have Batman. This big beautiful thing is my wife's. It's so pretty. And then we get into the independent comics. Coyotes, definitely would recommend. Going through here. And then we have March, which is book 1 of a 3-book series by Congressman John Lewis. It's about his work in civil rights as a freedom rider. And I also have They Called Us Enemy, which is George Takei's book about being internment camps as a kid. So being locked up, losing everything. Both books very nice and touching, very hard to read. They're emotional, but definitely suggest them. This is Dwarf. This final one I want to end on was actually a webcomic, and I got this at a con from him, the collected version. Kyle Latino is a very nice guy. This was a very fun book. I loved the art, and you kind of see there. Definitely suggest checking it out. You can read it all for free. Alright, and that was our bookcase / bookshelf tour. Those are all the books and comics that we have. Obviously we have a lot more that are off camera. But yeah, that's all of our books. We're going to keep getting new books and talk about them. We're going to do between book of the month and then just visiting the bookstores. We're going to try to get all the newer books that we can also just to kind of keep it fresh. But we are going to be going through some of these older ones because we may not have gotten around to reading them. We haven't.
Yep. Also, we are going to have an Instagram. It is Kuzbooks, spelled Kuzbooks. So check Instagram for like posts and stuff. So yeah.
Thank you.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Thanks for stopping by.
Bye. But for the top tier, we have our Stephen King books that are,
Oh, okay, I see. Schlunk.